Today's lesson illustrates how Rick plans for flexible grouping. This creates an ebb and flow, characteristic of a differentiated classroom.
Well, I had to make a lot of decisions about how I was going to deal with the groupings of the kids today. You know, there's a certain time in class where they should have some freedom of choice to go and work with a variety of kids in the class, and that's fine. But there are times when I want to be purposeful in the grouping of my students.
Flexible grouping is an ebb and flow of students into a variety of configurations. It's a teacher asking the question, when does it work best for us to have everyone work together? At what point do I want small groups to work? Is this a time to put students together by readiness? If it's readiness, should we try similar readiness or dissimilar readiness? Is this a great time to have students work on something for interest? Can I offer some learning profile options here? And is this the day when I want to make the choice of where students work or where I want to give them the choice?
As we've seen in today's lesson, Rick used several different grouping configurations. In the first activity, where students rephrased, "You have to be clever to survive middle school," they started writing individually and later worked in self-selected groups at their tables. In the second activity, students returned to their readiness-based groups to analyze their writing assignment from the previous lesson. In the final activity, students grouped themselves on the basis of interest to write their one-syllable word pieces. In Rick's class, students can often choose to work either together in small groups or to work individually on their tasks.
There are lots of possibilities, and it's a great thing to have students experience a variety of working modes and conditions, for the teacher to sort of audition kids in a variety of settings, and for the students to try themselves out in a lot of different configurations. It's critical in a differentiated classroom that students are very clear that their working conditions and arrangements change really often. Clearly, a student who doesn't read well knows that. And it may be that today that student is working with some other students who have difficulty reading. But very soon that student needs to see himself or herself moving to another group that seems to have nothing to do with what their particular reading skills are, and that seems to draw on their other skills in different ways. So it's really important that a student doesn't become associated in his mind or in the teacher's mind with a particular group of students, with a particular seating area in the classroom, with a particular set of materials, but rather that there is just a constant movement with very different motivations on the teacher's part, so that the student really does come to see, goodness, in a week in this class, I work in a lot of different ways, don't I?
Sometimes I make mistakes in grouping students, and it's really okay. The students are very resilient. The next time I'm teaching the lesson or the next day in the class, I can make those changes. The kids will understand. I explain myself to them. I literally have said, this is not working and here's why, so let's try it this way. And they see that they're in collaboration with me. They like having the input in the direction of the lesson.